Coffee. For so many of us, it's that one thing we just can't start our day without. It gets us focused, gives us that jolt of energy, and it just makes the morning feel, well, possible. But we all know what comes next, right? What goes up must come down. We're talking about that classic energy-draining crash. Today, we're going to get right into the nitty-gritty science of what is actually happening inside your brain during that whole cycle. I mean, we've all been there. You're riding high on that caffeine wave, you're productive, you're knocking things off your to-do list, and then it's like you hit a brick wall. That mental fog rolls back in, and sometimes you feel even more exhausted than you did before you even had that first cup. If that sounds a little too familiar, well, you're definitely in the right place.
Okay, let's really get into this, because that afternoon slump, it is not just in your head, and it's definitely not some kind of personal failing. It's a completely predictable biological event. We're going to unpack the exact brain chemistry behind why that coffee high nosedives into a crash, and believe it or not, it all comes down to one single tiny molecule.
So let's take a closer look at this whole daily coffee cycle. We grab that cup to feel awake, to feel on top of our game, but what we don't realize is that we're also starting a countdown clock to that big energy dip. It's a chain reaction, and honestly, just understanding it is the first real step to getting a handle on it. Now, before we even start talking about caffeine itself, we need to understand what it's going up against. Think about it like this. Your body has its own all-natural system for making you feel sleepy. It's a process that builds up all day long, and it's all driven by one very, very important molecule. So how does your body even know when it's time to rest? It's not just a random feeling. Your brain has this incredible built-in sleep switch. It's a natural signal that quietly gets stronger and stronger all day long, creating this pressure that eventually tells you it's time to wind down. So let's meet the molecule that's flipping that switch. And here it is. This is the molecule of the hour, adenosine. Its whole job is to create what scientists call sleep pressure. So the longer you're awake and going about your day, the more of this stuff you have building up, which is what makes you feel more and more tired. So here's the crucial part. Adenosine is a totally natural byproduct of your body just using energy. I mean, every time your cells are working and burning fuel, a little bit of adenosine gets left behind. It just accumulates all day long, and it starts binding to these receptors in your brain, basically sending a message that says, hey, we've been running for a while now, it's probably time to start thinking about rest. Here's a really simple way to picture it. Imagine your brain has all these tiny little docking stations. Let's call them parking spots. Adenosine is the car that's perfectly designed to fit right into those spots. And when enough of those adenosine cars are parked, the time to sleep signal gets really loud and clear. Okay, so if adenosine is the car that's trying to park, where in the world does caffeine fit into all this? Well, caffeine is a master of disguise. It's kind of like the great imposter in our little brain story.
Now this right here, this is probably the biggest myth about coffee. Caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. It's not like it's creating new fuel for your body to burn. All it is a blocker. Its only job is to stop you from feeling the tiredness that's already there and building up.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Over on the left, you've got adenosine, our natural sleepy car, looking for its parking spot. But then on the right, you've got caffeine. It's the imposter. It's shaped just enough like adenosine that it can sneak in and steal its spot. The key difference is caffeine doesn't send the sleepy signal, it just physically blocks the real adenosine from getting in. And the result? You feel wide awake. For a little while anyway. Okay, so if caffeine is so good at blocking those tired signals, why do we end up crashing later? And why does that crash feel so intense? Let's get right into the mechanics of the crash itself. This is the absolute key. Just because caffeine is taking up all the parking spots doesn't mean the adenosine cars just turn around and go home. Nope. Your body is still using energy, which means it's still making adenosine. So all of those sleepy molecules are basically just circling the block, waiting and waiting for a spot to open up. A huge traffic jam of tiredness is forming just out of sight.
But of course, caffeine doesn't last forever. Your body eventually metabolizes it, and those imposter cars start leaving the parking lot. And as those spots finally start to open up,
bam, a floodgate opens. All of those adenosine molecules that were patiently waiting rush in and grab every single available receptor, all at the same time. So you're not just feeling the normal gradual sleepiness you would have felt, you're getting hit with hours worth of built-up sleep pressure all at once. That is the crash. That's the brain fog, the fatigue, the reason you feel so irritable. And you know what? It gets even more complicated. If you're a regular coffee drinker, your brain is smart. It tries to adapt. It senses, whoa, our parking lot is always full. We must not have enough spots. So what does it do? It builds more adenosine receptors. This whole process is called upregulation. And now you need even more caffeine just to block all those new spots. That's why your tolerance goes up. But the downside is, with a much bigger parking lot, that adenosine flood, when it finally comes, is even more massive. The crash gets worse.
So, does that mean we're just doomed to be stuck in this cycle forever? Not at all. The really good news is that you can actually reset this entire system and get your sensitivity back.
So, what does it really take to hit that reset button? Well, the science points to a surprisingly short amount of time. We're talking about just 7 to 14 days. That's it. It takes about a week or two without caffeine for your brain to completely recalibrate.
By taking that 1 or 2 week break from caffeine, you give your brain a chance to downregulate. It basically realizes, oh, okay, we don't need this giant parking lot anymore, and it reduces the number of adenosine receptors back down to its normal baseline level. So then, when you do reintroduce a little caffeine, it's going to feel way more powerful.
But look, a good reset isn't just about avoiding caffeine. It's about really supporting your body's natural energy rhythms. For example, high-quality sleep is the main way your body clears out all that adenosine from your brain every night. Getting some sunlight in your eyes first thing in the morning is a powerful signal to set your internal body clock. And keeping a consistent sleep schedule, that helps your body get much better at managing adenosine levels all on its own, which means smoother energy all day long.
So, you see, the goal isn't necessarily to get rid of caffeine completely. It's more about changing our whole relationship with it, moving from just mindlessly drinking it to using it strategically. And it really all comes down to this idea: strategic use, not just more use, is what really helps your performance in the long run. It's about working with your biology. For instance, just by delaying your first cup of coffee for about 90 minutes after you wake up, you let your body naturally clear out a lot of the adenosine that's there. That one simple change can prevent a massive crash later in the day. It's all about knowing when your tolerance is building up and knowing when it's time to hit that reset button.
Ultimately, that's the real question you have to ask yourself. Now that you know about this constant battle happening between caffeine and adenosine inside your brain, you can start making smarter choices. You can use caffeine as the powerful tool it really is without letting it hijack your energy levels. So think about it. Are you using your coffee to your advantage, or are you just setting yourself up for the next